Hello, everyone. It's the one and only magnificent bird, Beak, speaking to you today. And in today's video, I am back at it with another spoiler review. And this spoiler review will be on The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon, the season 3 finale episode titled Solace of the Sea. And, yeah, sometimes when you fuck around and play with monsters, play with your experiments, sometimes you will get bit in the ass. When I get into the spoiler review, that will make a little bit more sense. So, yeah, I quite enjoyed this episode. And I do have a ranking for all 7 episodes, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that this episode, it does end on a cliffhanger. And we have a surprise return from a character that I didn't think we would ever see again. And we had some unexpected things happen. Oh yeah, this definitely ends on a cliffhanger, but not a cliffhanger I thought it was gonna end on. And plus, this is not related at all, but I just wanted to mention this. My New England Patriots, we picked up another win over the Tennessee Titans. 5-2. 5-2. You know what? I'm surprised. We are doing better than I thought we would. Now, I don't know. I can't remember who we play next, but I know we got Tampa Bay somewhere in the schedule. Oh no, I don't think we'll win that one, but I don't think that one's next. But anyway, New England, 5-2. It feels good to be on top of the AFC East for now. Do I think that's going to last? Probably not, but it feels good to actually have more than 3 wins, unlike last year. But anyway, I hope all of you are doing good and staying safe out there. And like always, if you like the video, make sure to hit that like button and leave a comment down below. And if you want to hit that subscribe button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you feel like it, and turn on all notifications so you know the second that I upload to YouTube. And if you want to share the video, that would be great too. And if you do any of those things, that would be very much appreciated. Now is the time to go ahead. If you have not seen the episode, if you have not seen the episode or you're not caught up with the series, this is the time to go ahead and click off the video. And if you want to get caught back up and if you want to come back, great. Or if you are caught up, or if you just don't give a damn about spoilers, thank you for staying. Either way. So, alright, I don't think I have, let me not delay it no further. Let's go ahead and, let's go ahead and get into this, shall we? The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon Season 3 concludes with Uncle F's lies coming to light as Daryl and Carol each stage rescues for the people they've come to care about. Alright, here we go. So, the episode actually starts with, y'all remember Stefan from Daryl Dixon seasons 1 and 2? Well, we get a shot of that statue when Daryl left Laurent's Rubik's Cube on the statue, the offering statue, and somebody's just walking by, they got their hood up, and this person notices the Rubik's Cube, and yeah, it's fucking Stefan. Somehow he done made his way walking, assumingly the whole time, to Spain. Honestly, I didn't think we would see him again, but yeah, he shows up in the finale here real quick at the beginning. But I wonder, is he still cuckoo up there in his mind from the bat shit in the finale of season 2? Or has those effects worn off? I don't know, I guess we'll find out, because we do see him one other time in the episode, toward the very end of the episode, which we will get into. So, Stefan has made his return. Now, Daryl and Paz enter the belly of the beast, El Khazar, to save Justin, Tina, and Elaine Mr. Gill's wife. Carol returns to rescue Antonio. Will Daryl and Carol be successful, or will their plans leave will their plans to leave Spain go up in flames? Yeah, I did that on purpose. I did that on purpose. We'll talk about it. We will talk about it. All right, so here we go. Daryl and Paz manage to infiltrate the palace at Barcelona, where Justin, Tina, and Elaine are being kept, by joining others looking to quote unquote work the party that evening for food and wages. Lucky for them, the staff have to wear masks. Like, they have to wear masks that cover up their whole faces. Most of their faces. Convenience. Coincidence, huh? Okay, so I thought what was going to happen with that is I thought Daryl and Paz were going to have to, like, sneak in. They were going to have to do a major stealth mission, but no. They hear the Alcazar's people, like their guards and shit. Oh, we need workers, we need workers. And Daryl and Paz, like, that was Daryl's idea. Like, yeah, let's pretend we need to work so we can get in there, because, we won't be working with the high up people of Alcazar. We're going to be down in the fucking dumps, which coincidentally, like, everybody's going to be at this party that they're planning. That'll be Mr. Gill, his wife, and even the king and queen of Spain, and a whole bunch of other just, like, rich people there. So that works out for Daryl and Paz, because they can pretend to be working to blend in, but they can also be snooping at the same time. So Mr. Gill, Elaine's husband, who is next in line for the throne, noticed that his wife, the way she was looking at Paz during the failed rescue attempt from last week's episode, and is less than pleased by that, obviously. Justin, Tina sees the encounter and waits for, because, like, yeah, they're getting Justin, Tina ready. They're getting her all dolled up and all this shit, along with a couple of other women, to be sold, for them to be whisked away, quote unquote, whisked away by husbands, So that's what they're getting her and all these other women dolled up for the evening. And so Justin, Tina, she's just sitting at, like, a table with, like, a mirror in front of her and stuff. So yeah, Justin, Tina sees the encounter and waits for Mr. Gill to leave before she goes to plead with Elena to help her to escape, because she's like, you gotta help me, I don't belong here, I don't wanna, you shouldn't be here either. She's trying to get through to her. So, okay, but Elena makes no promises, but reminds Justina that if she is not picked tonight, she could end up an abused servant, or dead. Because they have women, and young girls that are children that are, like, cleaning and shit, and you see there's this one scene that just shows that Alcazar, you hate them even more, because for whatever reason, one of the guards of Alcazar just backhands the shit out of one of the kids and kicks her too. Like, damn, if they weren't already pieces of shit, they gotta also show you this as well. For, I don't know, maybe because, like, I don't know, she didn't clean good enough for them or some shit. I can't remember, but all you know is you just hear a wham, and you get to see it, like, just, like, real quick, and he kicks the shit out of her too. So yeah, and so Justin, Tina's like, yeah, this is not going to be my home, like, So we get to that evening where they're having the party and stuff like that. So that evening in the palace, and by the way, the palace is really fucking nice for such terrible people. It's, like, too nice of a place for these rich assholes to be living in, but I will admit their decor is pretty good. I gotta admit it. I do gotta say that. But anyway, so that evening in the palace, the king and his wife, and a room full of the wealthy, perhaps royal, enjoy a marionette show. Okay, get this shit. So they have these walkers all dressed up and on puppet strings, and they're, they got them up on a stage and all this shit, and they pull back the curtain, and they all, all of the men, like the guards and shit like that, they're pulling them with puppet strings and getting them to move and shit. And oh, the king and queen and Mr. Gill and all them, they're just having a good old grand old time. I would be like, dude, wouldn't it be funny? Wouldn't it be funny if somebody just cut the string on all of them then? Or are y'all just gonna stand there laughing and just having a grand old time? Or are y'all gonna fucking run? Well, we get our answer. So here's the thing: How didn't anybody get bit while dressing up the walkers and even putting like makeup on them and all this shit? Don't know, but it was like it was a funny scene, just like kind of like, oh god, it's funny, but it's kind of fucked up. Like damn, like the funny part of it is like damn, like what if that what would happen if one of the ropes was to break or get cut? Just a thought. Just a thought. So, so Daryl and Paz watch, waiting for their moment of observing all the women chosen from the other communities enter the room to be presented to eligible men. When Justina realizes that there's one chance, because there's like, what is it, like five? I think there's five of them, and two of them get picked ahead of her. So, but there's only three men, right? So the other two are going to be abused servants. So Justintina is down to Justintina and two other women. And she's like, oh, fuck, I don't want to be a server. But I mean, a servant. Not a server, but a servant. So I got to take my hair down and look all sexy for the last man. So, that's exactly what happens. Like, she gets picked by the last guys. That way she doesn't have to be as an abused server or servant. Damn, I'm getting the two mixed up. Anyway. But obviously, she's just going to go along with it. That way, she'll be at one of the tables with her new quote unquote husband. But in the middle of it all, just all of the partying and going on, she, without anyone fucking noticing, that's how dumb these people are. She ends up managing to grab a knife, and she just slips it under one of her sleeves of the dress that she's wearing, and nobody fucking notices. Nobody. That's how oblivious they are. I'm sure Daryl and Paz didn't even see her do it, and I'm sure they're more aware of than anybody else in the fucking room. Oh, this is Okay, so yeah, she lets her hair down, which immediately attracts the last suitor. And yeah, she's sitting at the table with him and immediately swiping and hiding a knife. And Daryl determines now to be the time to act, and he ends up going backstage where the walkers are behind the curtain, and one of the men is like, hey, are you, one of the men sees that Daryl's back there, and he's like, hey, are you lost, or are you just stupid? And he acts like he's going to go along with him, and then Daryl, bam, headbutts him and knocks him the fuck out. He gets knocked the fuck out, son. So after that minor interruption, so Daryl decides to use that unique weapon that he picked up from the second episode, and, well, he ends up cutting the fucking ropes. Ah, I love it. They want to fuck around and play with some monsters. Well, they're going to get bit in the ass, literally and figuratively. Because as soon as he frees all those walkers, you see the curtains moving, and nobody fucking knows until it's too late, because instantly you have about one or two walkers that instantly jumps on the king and queen, killing them. There you go. That's, you know what? I don't feel sorry for them. They want to fuck around with walkers and think it's some kind of ha joke. And when something like that happens, that's more so on them than the person that freed them. That's what they get. I don't feel sorry for them because they think that they're untouchable. They think nothing bad is going to happen, and Daryl just showed them. Yeah, I'm not a fan of walkers. I would never keep them captive, but he's just using, he's taking advantage of the situation to cause chaos in order to get to Justintina, and then Paz is going to go get her, she says friend, but no, like, come on, they were more than friends now. So Paz is going to get her lover, and then Daryl wants to get Justintina, and then they're going to bounce. That's the plan. So And the thing is, the king and queen's table was directly in front of the stage. So they are the first ones, especially the queen is the first one to get bit down and chowed on, and then followed by the king, and then just all the other random people trying to run and get the hell out of there. And that's when Daryl decides to set the stage on fire. He throws like a lamp or like a candle or something on the stage, and it catches like the curtains on fire. So yeah, not only do they have walkers, but now the place is burning down to the ground. Love it, I love it, I love it. Oh, I love it. They wanted to fuck around with the walkers, and well, look what happened. That's what they get. They wanted to. Oh man, they think it's some kind of joke, and look at them now. They're dead. The royalty people. So there you go. And in the ensuing chaos, Daryl and Paz split up, with Paz going after Elena and Daryl following Justin Tina. So Paz and Elena reunite, where it is revealed that Elena has a son, which is why she returned home. So yeah, he got her pregnant, and she's got a kid of her own now. And before I move on, there was a flashback earlier in the episode where Paz, she had a flashback of her getting stabbed in the gut by someone like long before, and it turns out that Mr. Gill was the one to stab her in the gut. That's going to become relevant here in just a minute. So, I'm assuming this is when Elena gets taken from the village originally, and she's just having this flashback, and she tried to stop them, but she got stabbed in the gut for her troubles. So I'm assuming that's what that flashback was all about. At first, the vision is kind of blurry, like who the hell? It's a guy obviously stabbing her, but we don't know who it was at the time. But we find out. So, okay, so Elena has a son, and she's like, yeah, why don't you get your shit? Let's get out of here. And she's like, I'll pack our things, and she's going to go pack her things, and well, one of the El Calzar's men goes up into the room, and he's shouting, Your Majesty, Your Majesty. That's when he sees Paz, but then Paz kills him by throwing a knife in his chest, and then she goes to walk out the door, and boom, she gets knocked the fuck out by Mr. Gill. So yeah, as Elaine and her son prepare to leave, Paz is attacked and knocked out by Mr. Gill. Paz recalls how she almost died when she tried to stop him from taking Elaine years ago. And that's when, Mr. Gill, he takes a look at Paz all knocked out. Well, she's waking up, and she's got a hell of a wound on her forehead from that stick that he used to knock the hell out of her. And he's like, I remember you now. You want my wife? Well, you can have her, because I'm going to kill you, and I'm going to kill her too. And I'm going to stick her head, or I'm going to stick your head on her bedpost. I can't remember which is which, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, he's getting ready to stab her in the gut once again, but surprise, surprise, Elena stabs Mr. Gill right for the midsection. Now, I didn't see that coming. I thought for sure Mr. Gill would be sticking around until season 4. Well, no, he dies here. Because he's on the ground bleeding and coughing up blood. But Paz is the one to actually stab him in the gut and finish him off. Now, I expected Daryl or Carol to be the one to kill Mr. Gill, but the fact that we get Paz to be the one to kill Mr. Gill, you know what? That is somewhat satisfying. That is satisfying, because I wouldn't have called it. I honestly wouldn't have called it. So the fact that many years ago she got stabbed in the gut and nearly died from Mr. Gill, and she's the one to stab him in the gut and kill him, there is a certain satisfaction. There's a certain damn, I cannot talk, but there's a certain, it's satisfying to watch it, especially for Paz. She was the one to kill Mr. Gill. I didn't mean to make that rhyme, but anyway, it was satisfying for her to finish off Mr. Gill, because he was the one that nearly killed her, and then he's the one that ended up marrying her lover. So that was a good moment for her. I didn't expect it. So you know what? Sometimes subverting expectations sometimes is not a bad thing. Sometimes it's a good thing. I think this was a good subversion of expectations. I really do, because I was like expecting, okay, Daryl or Carol's going to be the one to kill him, but no. I wonder. I wonder if we'll see Paz again. I don't. Maybe not. I'm not. It depends. We'll see with season 4. So, meanwhile, all that happened. So, R.I.P. to Mr. Gill. You will not be missed at all. Meanwhile, Justina is brought into a room with the man who chose her. Although she threatens him with the knife to get her vehicle to escape, Justina, you are lucky you didn't get killed here, because the guy clearly had the upper hand. She pulls up the knife, said, "I need your help to escape," and she's like, he's like, "Oh, I'll help you escape. I understand." And he just does that so he can get up close to her to try to kill her, right? Because she pulled a knife on him. Not a smart move, Justina, but luckily Daryl arrives to save her, and he manages to rescue her alongside the other women who were not chosen that evening, that were going to be abusive servants. So, there you go. Okay. Amongst the flames, walkers, and destruction unfolding in the distance at El Khazar is fucking gone at this point. It's up in flames, it's up in smoke. And then you got Mr. Gill, who's dead, and who knows how many others are dead. Yeah, so El Khazar is not a threat. You know what? Let me take it back. I will say this downfall of El Khazar. Okay, let's talk about the ones who live for just a second, okay? The destruction of the CRM. Okay, I get a lot of people, I understand it. A lot of people didn't like how easily the CRM went down. And to a degree, I get it. I agree. They shouldn't have been so easy to take down. Now, the destruction of El Khazar, the way it was handled in this episode, I think was 100 times more believable than the way that the CRM was taken down. That's my personal opinion. You can agree with it, or you don't have to agree with it. That's fine. But see, the thing with El Khazar, they were just mainly in Spain, right? But CRM is all over. Well, not all over America, but they had more. They had like, was it 3 headquarters? I think it was 3 headquarters in America. They were much larger than El Khazar, but El Khazar got taken down a lot more believably than CRM. I think there will be some people that watch this review that have seen both and will probably agree. I don't know, that just like the CRM shit, like how easily they got taken down, it was just, I don't know, like a little unbelievable in my opinion. I'm sure a lot of you won't disagree with that. oh, oh god. So, amongst the flames, the walkers, and destruction unfolding at El Khazar, Daryl and Paz part ways. Paz is grateful for his help and perhaps now can begin a new life with Elaine and her son. And now Justina and Daryl make their way back home, but alas, there's trouble afoot. Okay, so while Daryl and Paz were away, fucking up and bringing down El Khazar, Carol and Roberto escaped to the lighthouse waiting for Antonio to arrive, but when he doesn't by the next morning, Carol decides she needs to go find him along and brings 2 of Valentina's men. For his accusations before the community, Antonio is left tied up as a form of punishment, as previously seen at the beginning of the season. Waiting until evening, Carol and the 2 men free Antonio, only to be caught by Uncle F and his men. And the thing is, the guy, when Valentina's men go to the front gate and they said that, oh, we want to go to the store. We got some crates of this. We got some crates of that. We even got a dead octopus that washed up ashore. The only problem with that is the dumbass didn't even bother to check the back of the vehicle. Who's the dumbass? Is it Carol or the guy at the gate? If you said the guy at the gate, ding, 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 you win a prize for being right. No, but no, the guy, the guy at the gate, he's a major dumbass for not wanting to check the vehicle, as they've had shit happen at the village recently. Whatever, we're not going to question it. Carol is now inside the gates once again. So, all right, because the device that Antonio was on was making this loud ass creaking noise, and I'm like, damn, they didn't get away for long, because all they had to do is look out the window. They start shooting at them. That's when they catch them, freeing Antonio. And before that, Uncle F's mother, she confronts Uncle F about, oh, I've heard rumors that that you sent Justina away to El Calzar, and he's like, are you going to believe your own son, or are you going to believe some American stranger? So he's bullshitting to her and lying his ass off. So, let me see where we're at. Okay, Carol and Antonio, while Uncle F's men have caught them and they're shooting at them, Carol and Antonio managed to find a sanctuary within someone's home. That would be that girl Alba and her mother. They bring them in to hide them. So Uncle F decides to find the person who allowed them back into the community, who was not aware Carol was hiding in the back. Okay, so I jumped ahead a little bit. Yeah, this is where I was saying that Uncle F's mother questions if the rumors were true that Justina did not leave on her own accord. And then Uncle F just basically fucking lied and said, you really don't believe me? Who are you going to trust, some stranger or your own son, right? Okay. So now we're going to jump ahead. Carol and Antonio, they almost escape because Uncle F's men start banging on the door of where they're hiding at. And Alba, she leads Carol and Antonio out a secret passage, and they go kind of underground, but it's just like a different section of the village. That way they're not, it's like less guarded and shit like that. So Carol and Antonio almost escape, but the man who helped them enter the community, which is the dumbass at the gate, he ends up fucking snitching and betraying on them but apparently his wife, excuse me, apparently the guy's wife needed medicine, and that's why he turned in Carol and Antonio. Damn, I'm like, son of a bitch, you can't trust no fucking body other than Daryl and Carol. Because like, yeah, they were almost out, but then there was a brief time like, okay, where the hell is Carol and Antonio? But well, obviously something happened. Well, they were snitched on and tied up. So there you go. That's what happened to them. So Uncle F tells Carol and Antonio that they are free to leave, but he says, y'all won't want to leave though. And so he cuts them loose and they walk out. So Carol and Antonio are freed on the condition that they survive a public execution, which involves Roberto, who is chained to Valentina's guys that they killed, while more walkers are led to them in the middle of the community with no weapons. They resort to close combat using the chains. So when Daryl and Justina are on their way back to the lighthouse, let's kind of go back a little bit. They get to the lighthouse and like there's like nobody's there. Well, turns out Uncle F had sent some of his men to take out Valentina if necessary, and they killed a couple of her men, and they were there to go get Roberto. Because they find out when they kill those two men, they find out that they're Valentina's men, and they assume that Roberto's at the lighthouse. So they go to the lighthouse, they go and capture Roberto, and they do end up shooting Valentina in the shoulder, and they almost get the jump on Daryl, but Valentina, from way up at the top of the lighthouse, she shoots down at one of the men, and Daryl's able to take advantage and takes them fools out, and Valentina pretty much says that they came to take Roberto, that Carol and Antonio haven't come back yet, so Daryl decides to go to not El Khazar, damn, El Khazar's no more. So Daryl decides to go back to the village. This is where Carol, Antonio, and Roberto are currently fighting for their lives, and then all of a suddenly, one of the walkers gets their head, boom, headshot. Daryl shows up, and that's when Daryl goes to free them, to stop them, and then so before Daryl goes to the village, Daryl specifically says, "No, I need you to stay here to help stitch up Valentina's wounds so it don't get worse." Well, Justina, of course, she doesn't listen. So she goes to the village, and Uncle F, he sees that it's his niece. It's Justina, and he's like he's shocked. And then other people notice that it's, oh, look, Justina's here. They're happy to see her. And that's when Justina, as the walkers are surrounding her, instead of shooting at Carol and them, they start to shoot at the walkers so Justina doesn't get bit, and they take care of the walkers. But you know what? Uncle F, this is kind of fucked up, but for Uncle F's case, he probably should have, I'm just thinking in his delusional fucked up mind to his for a minute. For Uncle F's case, he probably should have wished that Justina died, because for him, his lies do come out to light. Justina confirms that Uncle F, that her own uncle, did send her to El Khazar, and now people know the real truth, and Uncle F is arrested, and Roberto and Justina are reunited, and that means there's one thing to do. I did not expect Uncle F to be arrested, and I did not expect Mr. Gill to be killed. But that's what we got now. Now that Justina's there to confirm it, Uncle F's mother believes it and slaps the shit out of him before he gets arrested. And they said that, the people are shouting, "Let's kill him, let's kill this motherfucker." But then Justina's like, "No, let's not stoop down to his level. Let's just throw him in the dungeon." So they throw him in the dungeon. So Daryl, Carol, Roberto, Justina, and Antonio, they all go to the boat. They arrive at the boat hoping to set sail the next day. And that night, Daryl opens up to Carol about how he never seems to stay in one place for too long. He says he's always running. And he's like, "I don't even know why the fuck I left Alexandria in the first place. I don't know why the hell I went to Maine. I don't know why I got into that fight with that guy and ended up on that boat. I don't know why the fuck I ended up in France." And, he says, "I don't even know why or how the fuck I ended up in Spain." He's like, "It just don't make no fucking sense." Are you being a little meta there, Daryl? Are you breaking the fourth wall a little bit, Norman Reedus? Because it kind of doesn't make sense, but it is what it is. I just kind of thought that was funny. I was like, damn, that is Norman Reedus. That's not Daryl Dixon there talking. That's Norman Reedus. That's Norman in that scene. He's like, none of this makes any fucking sense. Oh, God. Okay. So that same evening, Carol's sleeping on the boat, and I'm sure, I think Justina, Roberto, and Antonio, I think they got, a campfire set up outside or something. I don't know where they're sleeping, but that's not important. So Carol notices that Daryl's, because Carol's got a bed on one side of the boat, and then Daryl's like right there, like his bed is like right there next to hers, or like not next to hers, but across from hers. And she gets up and sees that Daryl's not in bed. So, she's like, Daryl, like she gets up to see where he's at, and he's just out looking out across the sea. And the evening of peace is ruined. Let's go back a little bit before I reveal. So we get to see Uncle F in the dungeon locked up, and Uncle F's mother brings him some soup or some food or something, and he says, he says, I'm not hungry, mother, or whatever. And, he says that, to his mother, that once Justina leaves, she's like, they'll kill me, right? She's like, you already, no, he says to his mother, Uncle F says, once Justina leaves, they'll kill me, right? He says, you already lost one son, you don't want to lose another son. So, let's get back to what I was reading. The evening peace is ruined when Uncle F's mother releases Uncle F from his cell. Like, what the fuck are you doing, you stupid old hag? I know that's her son, but still, like, oh my god, bro. So I guess he's gonna be back in power in the village. Like, Jesus Christ, locking him up didn't do no fucking good. Why? Here's the thing, you need to lock her up too. I mean, she didn't specifically, well, she now did something. She released their prisoner. Like, bro, are you serious? So, Uncle F's mother releases him from his cell, and he arrives prepared to kill Daryl, but Carol intervenes and saves him, and shots go off, and there's like a lamp or a lantern in the boat, and as Carol is tackling and jumping on Uncle F, when his shots go off, they hit inside the boat, and one of the shots hits the lantern, and the boat catches on fire. And Uncle F is now I don't know if they killed him or just knocked him the hell out. So Antonio knocks his ass out, and the boat is on fire, and the boat blows up. So that's your cliffhanger for season 3. Oh, I feel bad for them because, damn, they got that boat all fixed up for nothing. They're still stranded in Spain. Obviously, there was going to be a season 4. But I didn't think they were going to be actually prepared to actually leave. No, I didn't think that was going to happen. I called it that there was going to be some kind of cliffhanger. I think most people probably would call that there's going to be a cliffhanger. And so this is where we get to see Stefan for the last time in this episode. From afar, Stefan, who briefly appeared at the beginning of the episode, he sees from a distance the boat blowing up. So he's in the vicinity of where Daryl and Carol and Justina, Roberto, and Antonio are. And that's how the episode ends. They're all looking on the boat. They're like, yeah, how the hell are they going to get out now? Oh, God. I don't know how in the hell. I think season 4 will end with them finally getting back to America. How they go about that, I don't know. Will they go by boat? Could they go by plane? I don't know. They might go by boat. They might go by a plane. I have no fucking idea. I need to stop sounding like Dr. Seuss over here. Because I know that one book, by plane, by car, by... I can't remember all of it, but damn. So the boat is done. So yeah, that's the cliffhanger. Now, in my opinion, season 3 of Daryl Dixon is significantly better than season 2. It's not even a fucking contest. Season 2 had its moments. Like when Daryl and Carol reunited, that was actually a legitimately good moment. In season 2, I will say, the season 2 finale, I did not care for it too much. Like, it was okay in comparison to this finale. I liked this finale a hell of a lot better. Now, will Stefan reappear in season 4 and be a bigger part of season 4? I sure fucking hope so, because, like, if he's not, then why did they even bother bringing him back? I thought maybe he would have had a bigger part in this episode, but he just shows up there at the beginning and then he shows up at the end, signaling that he's in the vicinity of Daryl and Carol. Now, will he be back to a normal state and not see Daryl as an enemy like he was trying to, like he was in the season 2 finale, like where he was trying to kill him? I guess we'll see. And will Uncle F, I don't think they actually killed him. I think Uncle F will be the villain for season 4, because, like, who else is going to be the villain for season 4? It sure in the fuck ain't going to be Mr. Gill. Like who I thought it was originally going to be. So I think they just knocked him out, and I don't know, something's going to happen to where, my prediction for season 4 is something's going to happen to where I don't know, they leave the beach or something, and they thought they killed him, and Uncle F ends up going back to the village, and he ends up taking back control of the village, and he rules it with a iron fist. So, yeah, I'm not sure what's going to happen, as far as the next Walking Dead show or spinoff. So I don't think, I'm assuming it's going to be the Walking Dead Dead City season 3. I'm assuming that's going to be next. And then I'm sure within 11 to 10 months from now, we'll get the 4th and final season of Daryl Dixon. And in between that time, we'll get Dead City, which I'm hoping has 7 or 8 episodes. I gotta say, season 3 was a step up from season 1 and 2 especially season 2 as far as having more than 6 episodes. Even though it just had one more than 6, I feel like with the 7 episodes, I feel like season 3 was not rushed. Now, season 1 was still pretty good, only with 6 episodes. It did not feel rushed. Season 2 absolutely felt rushed. That's why I would put season 2 definitely in 3rd place. This is a hard one. Between season 1 and season 3, damn. Both of them were so fucking good. Both of them were good. So good. But I might have to give the slight edge to season 1, but with season 3 being a very close 2nd place. Now, here are my rankings for the episodes in order. Just because I have one in 7th place or 3rd place doesn't mean that I like an episode better than another one. Just, they all gotta go somewhere. In 7th place, I gotta go with the premiere. Not that the premiere was bad. No, it was still good. But a whole lot really didn't happen in the premiere. And with the other episodes, a lot more shit happened. So I'll say the premiere in last place only because a lot of stuff wasn't happening yet. It was setting up stuff. You got what I mean? In 6th place, I'm going to go with episode 3 in 6th place because I'm trying to think. I think that one was a little bit more of a cool down point. I'm trying to think. No, I was thinking of episode 3, not a whole lot happened. Like, more setup stuff was happening. So episode 3 is going to go in 6th place, and the first episode will go in 7th place. Number 5, I'm going to have to give to episode 5th place. I'm going to say the 2nd episode. As far as the first half, I thought the first 3 episodes were the weakest, but that doesn't necessarily mean they were bad. I just feel like the back half of this season was stronger, in my opinion. So I would say episode 2 is the best of those 3 episodes. So episode 2 is in 5th place. Spot number 4. I'm gonna have to say I'll go with episode 5. That'll be my fourth place, or my fourth place will be episode 5. That one was a little bit more calmed down because, well, the previous episode you just had shit. You had all kinds of shit happening. You had people getting killed left and right. So yeah, episode 5 will be in fourth place. In third place, I'll go with episode 6. Again, while it was a situation for episode 6, it was the calm before the storm. It was still a pretty solid episode. We did have some action in it, especially when Daryl and Paz when they attempted to rescue Justina from Alcazar, which they were not successful, but we still had some action in there. And I thought, yeah, it was pretty good. It was a nice setup to the finale. So episode 6 is going to go in third place. In second place, I'm going to say episode 4. I was so close I was so close to putting episode 4 in first place, but it just missed out. So episode 4, you had that episode where the Primitives, they attacked the village and they were wanting to just watch the world burn. They didn't have a particular reason for attacking them other than we would rather not have the village standing at all other than we would if we just left it alone. We would rather have nobody living there than anybody living there, even if it means burning it to the ground and killing everybody there. And then everybody from the village was fighting back, and the fact that Uncle F had the Gatling gun, which turned the tide in the battle, and Daryl is a fucking pro with that rifle. It was a very badass episode. So episode 4 is going to go in second place. And now, in my opinion, the season finale of season 3 of Daryl Dixon is the best episode, in my opinion, because you had shit that happened that I didn't expect it to happen. You had Mr. Gill getting killed. You had Uncle F's lies be exposed. I thought Antonio was a goner. He fucking survived. Then also you had the return of Stefan, and then also the cliffhanger of the boat catching on fire and blowing up. I thought they weren't even going to get to that point where they were going to almost be able to get out. And overall, I liked how Daryl cut the walkers free from the puppet strings. I thought there was some great symbolism with that. And the fact that Daryl and Paz were able to infiltrate Alcazar as workers. There was a lot of good shit in this episode. So my personal favorite episode of this season is the finale. I thought it was pretty good. Followed by episode 4, then episode 6, then episode 5, then episode 2, then episode 3, and then the premiere. So that's my personal ranking. Hopefully, Daryl Dixon season 4 has at least 7 to 8 episodes. It needs to stick with that. Hell, season 2 should have had at least 7 to 8 episodes because it wouldn't have felt rushed. I enjoyed season 3 a hell of a lot more because it did not feel rushed like season 2 did. They were able to take their time in a short amount of time. It's all about making the most of that short amount of time without it being overbloated or being too rushed. It's all about that sweet spot. Season 3 was definitely that sweet spot. They didn't have a whole bunch of time, but with the time that they had, they were able to tell a lot. So I don't think, I'm not sure. I'm assuming Dead City Season 3 will be next. So if we get the confirmation on that, then that'll be my next spoiler review. But, yeah, I'm not expecting anything else this year as far as Walking Dead. They've already confirmed Daryl Dixon is coming back for a 4th and final season next year, so I'll definitely have that up. I'll definitely have that when the time comes. And probably in the meantime, I'm sure we'll get not Daryl Dixon. Between the wait of season 4 of Daryl Dixon, I'm sure we'll get Dead City season 3, which I quite enjoyed. I quite enjoyed season 2 of Dead City a lot more than I did season 1. I'm hoping season 3 is going to be more like season 2 for Daryl. I mean, not for Daryl Dixon, good God. For Dead City, I meant to say. Now, do I like the downfall of Alcazar more, or did I like the downfall of CRM more? Which one was more believable? I'm going to go with the downfall of Alcazar was a lot more believable than the way that the CRM went down, their downfall. That's my personal opinion. I'll actually ask you guys. I don't know, I might write a comment or make a poll and ask you guys. But that is pretty much going to do it for this one. I just wanted to let y'all know that now that the Walking Dead reviews are now over, this coming up week, expect me to get back on Harry Potter, Hogwarts Mystery, the Quidditch side quest, and I will be getting to talking with AI Ghostface. So expect those now that I don't have to do these reviews anymore until next year. So they will be coming this week, I promise you, because I don't have to get ready for these videos anymore that now that the season is complete. So that, with that out of the way, that is going to do it for this one. I want to thank each and every one of you for stopping by and for your continued support. And if you're new, welcome on in for the very first time. I'm glad to have your support and thank you for your time. I am Beak, and I'm going to go fly away back to my nest. Until next time, bye guys.